My wife cheated on me, so I beat up her lover, then became friends, slept with him, and posted the story on Reddit. This one is crazy, so hit that like button and have a moment of silence for his wife. I punched the guy my wife was cheating with, apologized to him after realizing he was innocent, became best friends, slept with him to get revenge, then immediately told the entire internet. Yeah, my therapist is going to have fun with this one. A few weeks ago, I was just your average guy with a pretty average life. Married to Jenna for 4 years, a good job, a nice house, everything was boringly predictable. Turns out Jenna hated predictable. On a Thursday afternoon, my biggest worry was a meeting running long. But when I got home early to surprise Jenna, I noticed a pair of sneakers, men's sneakers, by the door. My first thought was dumb denial. Maybe Jenna bought them for me? But let's be real, she never buys me gifts. Quietly, heart pounding, I climbed the stairs. As I approached our bedroom, I heard Jenna laughing. Then a deeper voice joined hers. I felt rage build instantly. Without hesitation, I burst through the door. My wife stared at me, horrified. The guy beside her jumped out of bed, scrambling to pull his jeans on. Before anyone spoke, before anyone could breathe, I crossed the room and punched him square in the jaw. He stumbled back onto the mattress, hands raised defensively. Wait, Jenna shrieked, eyes wide. He didn't know. I paused, fist still clenched midair. What do you mean he didn't know? The guy held up his hands again, genuinely terrified. I swear, dude, she told me she was single. I looked back at Jenna, who avoided my gaze completely. In that moment, I knew he was telling the truth. My anger shifted fully onto her. You need to go, I muttered to the guy, suddenly feeling stupid. Without another word, he grabbed his shirt and rushed out, leaving Jenna and me alone in heavy silence. I barely listened to her weak excuses and apologies. Within an hour, I was out of there, checked into a cheap motel and nursing a mixture of betrayal, regret, and embarrassment. I'd punched an innocent guy because of Jenna's lies, and the guilt ate at me. 2 days later, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number popped up. Hey, it's Marcus, the guy you punched. Can we talk? After staring blankly for 10 minutes, I replied, Sure. Benny's Cafe tomorrow noon. When I walked into Benny's, Marcus was already there, nursing a coffee. A noticeable bruise shadowed his jaw. He waved awkwardly when he saw me. Thanks for meeting me, Marcus began hesitantly as I sat down. Look, I cut in still feeling awful. I need to apologize. Punching you like that wasn't cool. Marcus relaxed slightly. Honestly, I get it. I'd probably have done the same. So she really told you she was single? I asked, sipping my coffee, bitterness edging my voice. Yeah, Marcus nodded firmly. We met online. She said she was recently divorced, even had a whole sob story about how you cheated first. I sighed deeply. Jenna was a master manipulator. I'm sorry you got dragged into this. He gave a faint smile. Me too. Surprisingly, talking with Marcus felt natural. He wasn't the arrogant jerk I'd imagined. He was just a regular guy, completely blindsided by Jenna's lies. After an hour, it didn't even feel awkward. So, Marcus said carefully as we left, this might sound insane, but if you ever want to talk or just vent. I laughed, shocked. Did we just become friends? He grinned sheepishly. I think we might have. Over the next couple of weeks, Marcus and I actually became close. We hung out frequently, joking about how surreal everything was. Strangely enough, Marcus understood my pain better than anyone else, which brought us closer together. One night, over too many beers, Marcus smirked at me across the table. You know what would drive Jenna absolutely insane? He asked mischievously. What? If we pretended we were hooking up, he laughed. That'd crush her ego completely. I stared at him, amusement fading into genuine intrigue. You're joking, right? Marcus shrugged, grinning wider. Why not? She deserves to feel the same humiliation we felt. My heartbeat quickened. The idea was ridiculous, yet oddly appealing. Before I could chicken out, I leaned forward. So you're serious? Marcus hesitated briefly, then nodded, meeting my eyes. Absolutely. I don't know if it was the beer or just pure reckless impulse, but I leaned in and kissed him. Marcus froze briefly, then kissed back. It felt insane, but incredibly satisfying, more natural than I'd ever expected. We pulled apart, both stunned. Wow, Marcus whispered, laughing softly. Didn't see that coming. Yeah, I admitted, still catching my breath. Neither did I. What started as a half-joking revenge idea quickly turned into something very real. For the first time in ages, I felt alive, unpredictable, and completely free. We both agreed that Jenna deserved to see what she'd lost, so we made a bold plan. Jenna still had keys to my place and would regularly stop by to talk, even though I'd moved out. So we decided she'd walk in on us openly together, ensuring she saw everything. We waited anxiously on my couch, hearts racing. Marcus sat next to me, casually close, our hands intertwined. It felt strangely comforting. Exactly as predicted, Jenna's keys rattled in the door at 6 p.m. She walked in confidently, clearly prepared for another pointless apology attempt. When she saw us, her expression turned from cheerful to stunned horror. "What the hell?" she spat angrily, dropping her purse. "You too? Seriously?" "Jenna," I said calmly. "Surprise." Marcus smiled, perfectly smug. "Funny how things turn out, huh?" Jenna stared, furious and confused. "This is disgusting. You're both pathetic." "No," I replied firmly, tightening my grip on Marcus's hand. "What's pathetic is lying to two people, destroying a marriage, and thinking you'd get away with it." She sputtered, grasping for words. "You'll regret this." Marcus shrugged. "Pretty sure we won't." She stormed out, slamming the door. Marcus and I immediately burst into laughter, relief flooding the room. "God, that felt amazing," Marcus sighed. I nodded, finally feeling closure. Honestly, best revenge ever. Later that night, feeling oddly proud, I wrote the entire wild story out on Reddit. I knew it sounded completely insane, but every word was true. Within minutes, comments exploded. Everyone found it outrageous, hilarious, unbelievable. And yet, somehow, I didn't regret a single second. Just when I thought my life couldn't get any crazier, the universe said, "Hold my beer." After Marcus and I posted our insane story on Reddit, it quickly blew up. Comments poured in nonstop. People called us legends, said we were crazy, congratulated us, shamed us, you name it. But nothing prepared us for what happened next. 2 days after our little revenge scene, Marcus showed up at my place looking tense. He immediately shoved his phone into my hand without a word. "What's going on?" I asked, confused, glancing down at his screen. Then my heart stopped. It was Jenna, but this wasn't just any message. It was a positive pregnancy test accompanied by the words, "Congratulations, Marcus. You're going to be a dad." I stared at the screen in disbelief, my mind spiraling. "Is this real?" I finally whispered, heart racing. Marcus sank into the couch, burying his face in his hands. Apparently, 1,000 thoughts raced through my mind. The revenge we'd savored suddenly felt hollow. Jenna was pregnant with Marcus's baby. It complicated everything. "But she could be lying," I muttered desperately. "It's Jenna. She'd say anything to mess with us." Marcus sighed, shaking his head. "I already met with her. She showed me the test in person. She's telling the truth." Anger surged inside me again. Jenna had played us perfectly. Just when we thought we'd won, she dropped a nuclear bomb. "So what now?" I asked quietly. Marcus sighed deeply. "Honestly, no idea. But this isn't something I can walk away from." I nodded slowly, even though a part of me felt sick at the idea. We'd finally found something real between us. Something unexpected, yet genuine. And now Jenna's pregnancy threatened to ruin it completely. Marcus suddenly looked up at me, panic clear in his eyes. What if she planned this from the start? What if she wanted this? My blood ran cold. Jenna was manipulative? Yes, but would she go this far? The answer came quicker than I expected. Marcus's phone buzzed again, another text from Jenna. "You two thought you could embarrass me? I always win. Now let's talk about child support and custody." My fists clenched involuntarily. Jenna was twisted enough to do exactly that. She'd planned this, and now Marcus was trapped. The next days were absolute chaos. Marcus tried to reason with Jenna, but she refused any compromise. She wanted Marcus to cut ties with me completely if he wanted to see the baby. Marcus was torn. He sat across from me one night, exhausted and defeated. "I'm sorry," he said softly, eyes full of regret. "I never meant for any of this to happen." "It's not your fault," I reassured him. Jenna knew exactly what she was doing. He took my hand, holding it tightly. "I don't want to lose this. Us." "Me neither," I admitted, swallowing hard. That night, feeling desperate, I made a risky move. I decided to confront Jenna myself. Maybe I could convince her to back down, make her see a reason. When Jenna opened her door, she smirked coldly. "Come to beg me to let you keep Marcus?" "No," I said calmly, stepping inside. "I came to end this insanity." Jenna laughed bitterly. "I don't think you realize I've already won." My jaw tightened. "Did you really plan all this? Getting pregnant, trapping Marcus, just to hurt me?" Jenna shrugged indifferently. "Maybe I did. Maybe you shouldn't have tried to humiliate me." Anger boiled inside me. "You cheated on me. And you slept with Marcus, she spat back. We're both terrible, but I always win. I stared at her disgusted. Jenna was beyond reasoning. I stormed out, determined to find another way. The next morning, my phone rang, an unknown number. I answered hesitantly. Hello? Listen carefully. A woman's voice whispered urgently. You don't know me, but I know Jenna. She's lying to both of you. What? I stammered, confused. Who is this? Someone who used to be Jenna's friend. The voice continued hurriedly. She told me everything. She's pregnant, yes, but Marcus isn't the father. She slept with another guy, too. My heart raced. Why should I trust you? Because Jenna betrayed me, too, she hissed bitterly. Just ask her about Tyler. Trust me. The line went dead. I stood frozen, my mind spinning wildly. I immediately called Marcus, telling him everything. Within minutes, he arrived, panic and hope mixing in his eyes. Who's Tyler? Marcus asked desperately. No idea, I admitted. But apparently Jenna cheated again. Marcus's eyes narrowed with resolve. Then we confront her together. She's played games long enough. An hour later, we were standing at Jenna's doorstep again. This time, united and determined. She answered confidently, but her face dropped instantly when she saw us both. Who's Tyler? Marcus asked bluntly. Her eyes widened in fear. Who told you that? I stepped forward. Does it matter? Is he the actual father? Jenna hesitated, realizing she'd lost control. I'm not sure. Marcus shook his head, disgusted. You manipulated me, lied about everything, just to hurt us? Jenna's confidence crumbled entirely. She was cornered. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I stared at her disgusted. You never do. Marcus and I walked away, leaving Jenna standing alone, humiliated and exposed. That night, Marcus held me close. You know what? I don't even care anymore. Let her deal with her own mess. Yeah, I whispered softly. We deserve better. Then just as he started to breathe easy, my phone buzzed again. Reddit notifications exploded with thousands of comments. Someone had found Jenna's profile, and it turned out she had posted her own twisted version of the story, painting Marcus and me as villains, spinning the narrative completely around. The internet was going wild. Jenna's version was gaining traction, painting Marcus as abusive and me as a manipulative cheater. She was good, dangerously good. Marcus looked at me, exhausted but determined. So what now? I took a deep breath, steeling myself. We fight fire with fire. We post everything, the texts, the recordings, the truth. Marcus smiled faintly, nodding slowly. Let's do it. We spent the entire night assembling every piece of evidence we had, texts, voice recordings, screenshots, even Jenna's frantic voicemail confessions. By morning, we'd put together the ultimate counterattack post. We uploaded everything complete with timelines and undeniable proof. Within hours, the narrative shifted drastically. Public opinion turned against Jenna instantly. Yet, as the dust settled, Marcus and I realized something crucial. In our battle against Jenna, amidst all the chaos, manipulation, betrayal, and revenge, we'd found something incredible: each other. Maybe we'd started out as enemies, then victims, then friends and lovers. But now we were partners, unbreakable. The craziest chapter in our lives had become the best thing to ever happen to us. We won. And this time, the victory felt real. Just when Marcus and I thought things couldn't possibly get weirder, the universe laughed and said, watch this. After our Reddit post blew up, we became minor celebrities overnight. Our phones buzzed nonstop. Podcasters, influencers, even a few TV producers all reached out, eager to cover our insane story. Marcus and I just laughed it off. We figured we'd had enough drama to last a lifetime. But Jenna wasn't done yet. One evening, Marcus and I were at my place, finally relaxing and thinking the worst was behind us. Suddenly, there was a furious banging at my door. I cautiously opened it, and Jenna barged past me, fuming and frantic. You two ruined my life, she shouted, storming into the living room. Marcus stood up immediately, protective and annoyed. You did that yourself, Jenna. You have no idea what you've done, she snapped, her voice shaking. Seriously? I scoffed. You cheated, lied, manipulated us both. What did you expect? I need help, Jenna admitted, her voice suddenly trembling. Tyler found out everything. He's gone completely psycho. He's threatening to expose even more secrets. Dangerous secrets. Marcus and I exchanged skeptical looks. Wait, Marcus said slowly. What dangerous secrets? Jenna hesitated, biting her lip nervously. He has videos of all of us. My blood ran cold. What videos? Her eyes darted around anxiously. He's been following us, recording everything. You two hooking up me and Marcus together, everything. He said he's going to post it all online unless I pay him a ton of money. Marcus cursed softly under his breath. Great. Just perfect. Why didn't you tell us earlier? I demanded angrily. Jenna sank onto the couch, defeated. I was trying to handle myself. I thought I could outsmart him, but he's too much. He's blackmailing me for $50,000. Marcus shook his head incredulously. And now you come to us for help? I have nowhere else to turn, she admitted bitterly. You two caused this. I stared at Marcus, frustration boiling inside me. Tyler was clearly unhinged, and we were all tangled in Jenna's twisted web. But we couldn't risk those videos leaking. What do we do? Marcus finally asked me, eyes filled with worry. I took a deep breath, feeling cornered yet determined. We find Tyler and handle this. Marcus nodded solemnly. Jenna watched us nervously. She clearly hadn't anticipated us taking charge. The next day, we tracked Tyler down online, figuring out where he lived through mutual contacts. Turns out he wasn't a criminal mastermind, just a tech-savvy creep with serious boundary issues. Marcus and I arrived at his rundown apartment complex, hearts pounding nervously. We knocked. Tyler answered cautiously, instantly recognizing us. What do you want? He asked defensively. Delete the videos, Marcus demanded firmly. This ends now. Tyler smirked coldly. 50 grand and it all disappears. I stepped closer, anger rising. Well, we call the cops right now. Tyler laughed bitterly. Go ahead. Then your families, your coworkers, everyone online sees what you three have been up to. I'll still win. Marcus and I stood frozen, unsure what to do next. But then, completely unexpectedly, Jenna appeared behind us, furious and fearless. You've messed with the wrong people, Tyler, she hissed, stepping past us confidently. What are you going to do? Tyler sneered mockingly. You're pathetic. Without a word, Jenna calmly pulled out her phone, hitting play. A video appeared of Tyler himself, clearly dealing drugs outside a nightclub. Marcus and I stared in shock, realization hitting instantly. Checkmate, Jenna whispered coldly. You leak our videos, and I send this directly to the police. You go down harder than any of us. Tyler's smirk vanished instantly. Panic filled his eyes. How did you? I knew you were shady, Jenna interrupted confidently. I figured I'd need leverage eventually. Tyler stood speechless, realizing he'd lost. Without a word, he turned, walked to his laptop, and began deleting files. There, he spat bitterly, turning back to Jenna. It's gone. Now delete yours. Already done, she replied calmly. Don't ever contact us again. Marcus and I exchanged stunned looks. We followed Jenna silently out the door, leaving Tyler defeated and humiliated. Outside, Jenna sighed, visibly exhausted. Marcus finally spoke, breaking the tense silence. How did you even? Jenna shrugged awkwardly. I figured someone like Tyler always had dirt somewhere. I got lucky. I felt strangely impressed. Jenna might have betrayed us both, but she'd saved us from Tyler's insanity. Thank you, I finally said quietly. She looked at me, genuine remorse in her eyes. I really am sorry for everything. I lost control. Marcus sighed deeply. We can't fix what's broken, Jenna. But thank you. She nodded sadly, turning to leave. For what it's worth, I really hope you two find happiness. We watched her walk away, a strange mixture of relief, confusion, and closure washing over us. Marcus took my hand gently, offering a faint smile. Think it's finally over? I really hope so, I whispered, pulling him closer. But of course it wasn't. 2 weeks later, Marcus and I sat comfortably at home, finally feeling peace. Suddenly, our phones lit up simultaneously. Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. Messages poured in. Apparently, Tyler had one final trick up his sleeve. He'd anonymously uploaded everything, not just a cheating drama, but also secretly filmed clips of our confrontation, Jenna's threats, Marcus punching him at his apartment. Everything carefully edited to make us all look insane. People online exploded again. The whole internet debated. Were we heroes or villains? Jenna reached out frantically, her life collapsing all over again. Marcus and I watched helplessly as chaos took over once more. Marcus sighed deeply, laughing bitterly. So much for a quiet life. I chuckled softly, leaning against him. Maybe we're destined for drama. Yet, oddly enough, the chaos brought Marcus and me even closer. No matter how messy things got, we always had each other. That mattered more than anything. As the internet storm raged on, I realized something crucial. We'd survived cheating, manipulation, betrayal, revenge, blackmail, and public humiliation, and somehow, amidst all of it, found real happiness together. Maybe our story was completely insane, but it was ours. And honestly, we wouldn't change it for anything. Just when Marcus and I were convinced our lives couldn't possibly spiral further into madness, reality laughed in our faces once again. The videos Tyler released turned our situation into a full-blown internet frenzy. We were bombarded by endless DMs, threats, support, job offers, podcast invitations, even bizarre marriage proposals. Strangers recognized us in public, whispering and pointing like we were characters from a soap opera. One night, just as we thought things might settle, Jenna called Marcus, frantic and terrified. "You need to get here right now," her voice shook through the phone. "It's Tyler, he's lost it." Marcus and I exchanged an uneasy glance, and within minutes, we were racing to Jenna's place. When we arrived, we found her standing outside, visibly shaken. "What happened?" Marcus asked urgently. "Tyler broke into my apartment," Jenna stammered, clutching herself tightly. "He's destroying everything, yelling about revenge." I called the cops immediately, while Marcus cautiously approached the apartment door. Inside, Tyler was throwing furniture, breaking dishes, screaming incomprehensibly. "Tyler, stop!" Marcus shouted. "You're making it worse." Tyler turned, eyes wild and manic. "You ruined my life. All of you." Before we could react, Tyler lunged toward Marcus. I acted on instinct, tackling Tyler hard. We crashed onto Jenna's coffee table, glass shattering beneath us. Tyler punched blindly, but adrenaline took over. I held him down until police sirens wailed outside. Cops burst in moments later, quickly restraining Tyler. We watched silently as he was dragged out, still shouting threats and curses. The officer turned to us, shaking his head. "You three have a lot of explaining to do." At the station, we spent hours retelling our bizarre story. Eventually, the cops pieced together the insanity, and Tyler faced serious charges for harassment, blackmail, and assault. Finally, exhausted and bruised, Marcus, Jenna, and I sat awkwardly in the lobby. Jenna glanced at us, sadness in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she finally whispered. "This is all my fault." Marcus sighed softly. "We all made mistakes, Jenna." She nodded slowly, understanding. "I won't interfere anymore. You deserve happiness, both of you." And with that, Jenna walked away, finally exiting our lives for good. Weeks passed, and the chaos slowly faded. Marcus and I found peace, real peace, for the first time since this insanity started. Our relationship grew deeper, stronger, surprisingly healthy considering its wild origins. But the universe wasn't done surprising us. One evening, we sat on our porch, enjoying the quiet. Marcus suddenly turned serious, gripping my hand gently. "I've been thinking," he began softly. "This whole journey started as revenge, but it turned into something real." I smiled warmly. "Yeah, unexpectedly real." He took a deep breath. "So let's make it official." I blinked, confused. "Official?" Marcus pulled out a small box from his pocket. My heart skipped a beat. He opened it, revealing a simple ring. "I know it's crazy, but I can't imagine life without you. Marry me?" For a second, everything stopped. All the insanity, betrayal, drama, fights, and chaos. It all faded away. I laughed in disbelief, tears forming. "Absolutely yes," I finally managed. Our joy lasted exactly 3 minutes before our phones buzzed simultaneously. We glanced at each other nervously. The notifications were from Reddit again. But this time, the headlines shocked us. "My ex-wife cheated and I ended up engaged to her lover. Update Marcus's POV." Marcus stared at me, confused. "Did you post again?" "No," I replied quickly, heart pounding. "Did you?" "Definitely not," Marcus whispered nervously. We clicked the link simultaneously, and what we saw left us speechless. It was Jenna. She'd posted a full, shockingly honest confession, admitting to everything: the cheating, manipulation, pregnancy scare, Tyler's blackmail, and her genuine remorse for everything she'd done. She congratulated us sincerely, apologized publicly, and wished us happiness. The comments exploded. Thousands of people applauded her honesty. Many forgave her, praised her courage, and wished her well. Marcus and I sat stunned, reading her post again and again. Did Jenna just redeem herself? Marcus muttered, baffled. "I think she did," I whispered, equally amazed. But the roller coaster wasn't done yet. Within hours, Jenna's confession went viral, landing on news sites and trending worldwide. She appeared on talk shows, podcasts, even landed a book deal about redemption and personal growth. In a bizarre twist, Jenna's honesty earned her fame and respect, completely flipping her narrative. Meanwhile, Marcus and I became unlikely role models, poster boys for second chances and unexpected love. Podcasters and influencers constantly reached out, eager for interviews. Finally, we agreed to tell our story publicly, sitting side by side on national TV, hand in hand. During the interview, the host asked us, "If you could change anything, would you?" Marcus smiled warmly, squeezing my hand tightly. Honestly, no. Through all the craziness, we found each other. I nodded, smiling back. Maybe the craziest stories have the happiest endings. Months later, Marcus and I got married. A quiet ceremony, no drama. Just us and our closest friends. Yet even then, fate had one final joke in store. At our reception, a familiar voice called out warmly. We turned sharply stunned. It was Jenna holding hands with someone new, a woman named Sarah. They approached cautiously. "Congratulations," Jenna smiled sincerely. "I'm genuinely happy for you." Marcus laughed softly. "Thanks, Jenna. And who's this?" She blushed slightly. "My fiancée, Sarah." Turns out, I finally figured myself out. Guess it explains why I always cause chaos. We all burst out laughing. Jenna hugged us warmly, genuinely apologetic, and finally at peace. "So," she grinned mischievously, "friends?" I exchanged a surprised glance with Marcus, then smiled broadly. "Yeah," I nodded sincerely, "friends." In the end, life had taken every possible insane turn. Cheating, betrayal, revenge, violence, blackmail, viral fame, and finally redemption. Yet somehow, after everything, we'd ended up exactly where we belonged. Marcus wrapped an arm around me, whispering playfully, "Think the internet is ready for one more Reddit update?" I laughed, leaning into him warmly. "No, they definitely couldn't handle it." Together we danced under the stars, finally free of drama, at least until the next notification buzzed on our phones. But whatever happened next, one thing was certain. We'd face it together, side by side, happy, and ready for any insanity life threw our way. And honestly, after everything we'd survived, nothing seemed crazy anymore. Well, folks, this was the craziest story I had ever found online. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next.